All right, we should be live. Is that a sidecar, Sticky?
Even section on
You're cutting out a little bit.
He said, "What is Section 8 Nordstrom?" Is that what he just said?
Yeah.
Dillard's is like a less classy version of Nordstrom, so that's why I said that, because you're talking about how in Dillard, fucking Nordstrom, they give you drinks and shit. And I'm like, oh, that looks like a Dillard's drink.
That's a sidecar.
My boys,
A
my boys,
little
my boys.
foamy for a sidecar. They got you there.
What is a sidecar?
Really good, dude. Next time you go out to a nice dinner, order a sidecar. It's
Like a citrus Tennessee drink.
yeah, it's like a Hennessy and orange liqueur and what is it? Triple sec.
Is Section 8 like a project? Yeah.
There might be somebody
Hey, tuned. Mazad and Andre, what's going on, guys? You guys are just coming to stream. Sorry about missing the stream yesterday. I had a meeting. I could not make the stream. We're back on track. A little bit of a red day today on the markets. Tesla took a massive nuke, down over 10%. They haven't released any news on why it's nuked so much. I'm guessing it's just speculation on the Elon tweet. I didn't see any news about Elon actually selling any shares or anything. But it is taking a beating either way. You're bouncing off a daily pivot for now. There's a daily pivot at 1039. If we can hold on to that daily pivot, it looks pretty good. But if it loses that pivot, you could go back down to the 910 gap fill. And then if you guys were trading this morning, pretty much everything was green. It was looking really good. But right as Tesla started to nuke, the whole market basically followed. So little pullback on SPY. You filled the local gap. We do have another little support around 464. And then you could fall back down to like 460. Qs, we haven't filled the gap yet. There's a gap at 393. Get below that, you probably could get down to like 387. But for the most part, I talked about this in the analysis in Discord. The markets are pretty extended, so they're due for either a little pullback or a consolidation. So this is pretty healthy, to be honest. I'm doing good, Andre. A little tired for some reason, but feeling pretty good. Tunity said, you glad you took profits on Tesla yesterday? Yeah, if you took profits yesterday, you're looking really good, for sure. He said, can you take a look at metis.eth or metis.eth? Let me see. Metis.eth. Guessing it's this. Doesn't look too bad, honestly. Very nice little distribution right here. Breaking out of the distribution, pulling back to retest it. If you can hold on this retest, on this pivot, around 0.0185, that's not a bad retest. If we fail below the pivot, then you're turning back into a range, and this becomes like a fake out, right? So you got faked out, and then it might go back towards the lows of the range. But for right now, it doesn't look too bad. Just looks like a pullback. Hey, Moneybag, what's going on? GRT, let's take a look. GRT's ripping. It's up 8%, breaking a nice little accumulation. You do have a little bit of resistance that you're running into kind of on these lows here. But I think next target on that would be like 150 to 175. You'd have to stay above like 108 on that. Get below 108. It's getting a little weak. Little toppy on today's candle. You can see a little top wick. Hey, Sarah, what's going on? He said Vitalik's mom is in the Metis team. Staking starts in 2 weeks at 229,000 APY. Is that what you're saying? I can tell you right now, if it has 29,000 APY, it's probably a scam. Usually anything with that high of an APY is scammy. Our XMR is pumping. Let's go.
What has a high APY?
Your signal's pretty bad. What'd you say?
What has a high APY?
Metis, METIS. He said it starts staking in 2 weeks. Vitalik's mom is on the team, and it has 29,000% APY.
That'll last like 10 hours. Usually things start with the high APY because there's a lot of volume, but there's no one catching up liquidity.
Yeah.
Or there's no one that's staked yet.
Yeah, so as soon as people start staking, that APY is going to drop, tuned. Moneybag said Doge devs almost done. New network fees, and supposedly Doge is teaming up with Mr. Beast to clean the ocean. That's some crypto shit right there. I bought a small bag of XMR today. That's why we're watching XMR. I think you're pretty close to breaking out of this accumulation. And like Sticky said, it follows Zcash, and Zcash is ripping. Hey, Vicky. So Jasmine, in my eyes, anything after an impulse up would be distribution. Anything after an impulse down would be accumulation. It's not the exact textbook way of doing it, but that's the way that I do it. And then I have ways to determine if the accumulation or distribution are bullish or bearish. I have a couple videos on that. If you go to my How to Trade playlist, there is a part 1 and a part 2. The part 2 is much more in depth. The part 1 is kind of like an introduction. But those videos will kind of go over how to find those patterns. How does ICP look? ICP, let's see. Pretty dog shit performance overall. Massive accumulation. Accumulation is not over yet. You can see the cloud is still above us. I'd say if you reclaim the pivot around 61 to 62, you could start to break out of this accumulation. But for now, this is pretty bearish. No problem, Jasmine. Yeah, those videos will help you out. You don't have to watch part 1 to watch part 2. Part 2 is kind of more of like a advanced, more updated version, but they're both pretty helpful. So if you have time, I recommend watching both. If you don't have that much time, you could probably skip to the second one. Amazon is like the only thing pumping today, up 2.5%. You had a couple of targets get hit, 3551, 3597. Get above that, you're looking for like 3659. Netflix also not looking too bad. Buy the dip signal on the daily. You are holding the Kaijin as well. You do have a gap above you at 668. That would be a nice little level to get to. Not sure if you guys saw the earnings on Roblox, but Roblox is on fire, breaking the all-time high at 104, and now we're trading around 108. Little bit of a consolidation after the gap up because it did gap like, what, 30%? But you are still trending higher. You had one little test of VWAP and then it bounced. We don't consider space SR. Space is dog shit. It's pretty easy to pump when you go down 90%. It nuked 70%, and now we just pumped 6%. How are gaps formed? Gaps are formed in a difference of open and close. So there's a time gap between something opening and closing. It creates a gap. If price moves too much before the stock technically opens, the stock technically opens at 9:30, closes at 4 p.m. So all the movement that happens before 9:30 and after 4 p.m. creates the gap. Lucid, I haven't seen Lucid today. I think they were moving yesterday. Yeah, they had a nice little move yesterday. Little toppy today, dark cloud cover on the daily. My opinion on SPY is that you're still extremely bullish because we're heading into November. We're heading into December with a perfect record. Every single time in the history of SPY that you've been up this much on the year, December has been only up. There's been no instance in the history of SPY where you've had this good of a year and you were red in December. Excuse me. So, very good odds that we're green in December, and very good odds that we're green in November. So, any pullback that happens in the middle of November is a bullish pullback. If you guys look at the chart that shows you how SPY performs historically over the past, 90 years, 70 years, there is a small period of November, which is coming up on the end of the week, basically from like Friday to Tuesday, Wednesday, you're typically red in November. And then after that, it's only up for basically the rest of the year. And we've been following the historical price action on SPY for pretty much the last 4 months, spot on. So maybe a small pullback, maybe a small consolidation, and then only up for the rest of the year. You'd have to have some really bad tapering news or something to happen with the Fed to make it so that we're red in November, red in December. Quantum looks good. Let's take a look. Yeah, nice breakout on Quantum actually. Nice little flat top on the pivot. Breaking out of the pivot above 17. If you can hold above 17, you're looking for probably around 20 and then 27. Not bad. Thoughts on LRC? Let's take a look. They had a massive pump today. This thing's actually going fucking nuts. It was at 40 cents. Now it's at almost $3. Yeah, so clearly bullish. You can't really buy it here if you're not already in. You'd have to wait for at least a small time frame pullback. How did the bot fare on this? Did the bot catch that? Yes, it did. So the bot purchase, I guess you could say, a little easier, at 42 cents. So it's been long since 42. If it pulled back to like 170, 150, could give you a bullish retest. But buying up here is really hard. You're very extended. If you're looking for targets, you would just use a Fibonacci tool. So your next target would be 308, 326, and then 392. You could take partial profit on SPY here. But like I said, November and December historically are only up. Thoughts on Matic? Let's take a look. Looks like it's a bullish pullback, retesting the range. You have a lot of support kind of around this area here, anywhere around 150 to 175. So we have a little bit of a pullback here, but it's pulling back after a big run up, so not too bad. If you can hold above like 170 here, I think this is a bullish pullback. Breakout of 170 into the pivot at 240. If it fails the low here, you would be looking for support around 150 and then probably around 133. XMR is carrying our crypto portfolio. Let's take a look at some crypto here. See if we can find any plays. LRC, obviously the biggest gainer on the day. Litecoin's been ripping. You guys were mentioning that in Discord yesterday. Finally starting to break out of the little accumulation we have here. Zcash, third biggest gainer on the day. Hopefully XMR follows this little breakout of the accumulation.
What happened last time when Ethereum Classic and all those fucking old ass Dino coins were popping off? I'm pretty sure everything dumped after that, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like that's probably what's about to happen.
I think that was before the top in the 55K top. I think that was right before that top. Qtum looks really good. The one we just looked at earlier, breaking that pivot. A little extended here. It would have been nice to get in 3-4% ago. The privacy perp, the privacy index, I think that has like Zcash and XMR starting to push up. A lot of these still look pretty bad. H bar doesn't look too bad, but I know this thing trades like shit. You asked about EGLD here. It looks decent, but it's a weak high. It looks like it broke out of the previous high and then it topped out too quickly. So it's bullish as long as it stays above the pivot, above 295, but get below 295, then it's probably going to pull back and retest this trend. The trend is pretty healthy though. Yeah, honestly, not a lot of things look good right here. PAX doesn't look too bad. I don't know what PAX does, but trying to break out of an accumulation, kind of like XMR is doing. I'm still holding cake. Like I said, I got in this a little early because we haven't broken the pivot. We have not broken the cloud. So we might pay the price on that if this thing does nuke. But I'm also holding, I just got an XMR. And this is already paying for our small loss on cake. And then I'm also in mid-perp, which we're already green on pretty heavily. The only crypto we're red on right now is cake. And it's very slightly red. I think we're down like 3%. XMR is still breaking out. Let's go. Which one is that, Andre? The hollow ride? Is that H bar? Roblox, man, killing it. It's at 108. VIX is starting to climb a little bit, but not really anything to worry about unless it breaks back above this weekly downtrend. VIX gets back above 20, that becomes a problem, but down here at 18, not a big deal. It's a project backed by Audi, they made on the EGLD blockchain. Gotcha. Strong block, what's that tuned? ADA, let me take a look. ADA is not looking too bad, breaking a downtrend. It's not completely shifted into an uptrend yet. You'd have to flip the cloud and flip all these moving averages and whatnot into support. They are support now, but they have not been tested. They have not flipped. A lot of resistance around like 250. Pretty strong weekly though. I like the weekly. If you caught the buy the dip signal, you bought the bottom almost to the penny. If the weekly closes like this in 5 days, looks pretty strong. Rusty, the 3 hour is actually pretty helpful on crypto. I think the 3 hour Ichi is really good. Typically, the 3 hour moving averages are pretty good as well. It's not going to give you a very big difference from the 4 hour, but I like to look at the 3 hour every now and then, look at the pivots, look at the cloud. It's not that helpful on stocks, but it's pretty good on crypto. OHM, what is this? Are you talking about the Olympus coin? This thing's not really doing anything. Could be a massive bulldog if you bottom here. If it bottoms here, breaks this downtrend here, so it gets back above, say, 28 to 30, this could be a bulldog. But that's like the best case scenario. Strong USDT, I think I've seen that before. Very nasty daily candle. I wouldn't like this until it got back above like 911, 915. Looks like your cloud's about to flip red for the first time in a long time. I'm assuming you're in a sell signal on the bot. Yeah, the bot's in a sell signal. So, not looking the greatest. I'd wait for the bot to turn back into a buy on that one. Yeah, Rusty, I'm not sure if TradingView's earnings are accurate on Roblox, but if they are, that's actually insane if it pumped that much on horrible earnings. Is that Sia coin, Jazz? We used to trade that back in 2017. Yeah, it's Sia coin. I can't believe this coin made it off of Bittrex. Like, we used to trade this thing on Bittrex in 2017. And it's actually on a big name exchange. I used to trade this, Einsteinium, library credits. You guys remember all those dog shit coins on Bittrex? Those are the good old days. Fucking Einsteinium, man. What was it? What the fuck was their ticker? It was EMC squared or some shit like that. EMC2, I think, was their ticker. Are they still on here? Yeah, it is. Oh, EMC2, yeah. It's still on Bittrex. Holy shit. These are back in the dinosaur days where we used to trade everything against Bitcoin instead of against the dollar. Look at this thing back in 2017. This thing used to pump.
What coin?
Einsteinium,
Oh yeah.
EMC2.
That's like Substratum or
Yeah.
Substratum was like that one coin everybody was always talking about. Never did nothing.
VET came out back then and was doing pretty well too.
Mars bouncing. Can't believe Mars really touched 80, bro. This is
Yeah,
a
Mars.
crazy market.
Mars is probably the #1 crypto stock, doing better than MicroStrategy.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy. It's fucking crazy, man.
I'm guessing they're not a Chinese miner because the Chinese miners got rugged.
Oh no, they're not. Yeah, they're not Chinese, bro. Mars out here, Nevada. Hut is Canadian. BT is New York. Oh, speaking of BTB, they just had like a little scam. Like I didn't know what the fuck what happened there on the 15. Looks like a perfect Bart.
Which
On the
one?
15. A BT. It's the other crypto stock. That's the one that fucking like squeezed to like fucking infinity that one time. When I forgot how far they went. Yeah. BT. It used to be at the 52-week high is 30.33. Remember that shit fucking squeezed straight the fuck up.
Keep an eye on XMR. You're coming into that downtrend. If we can break this downtrend, looks pretty good.
Oh yeah, and the fuel cell finally broke out. Broke out like 3 days ago, or like a week.
Fuel cell usually runs with laser.
Yeah, and when like Tesla like fucking pumping insanely, it went from like fucking $6 all the way back up to like $11. Is at $10 and like 50 cents or something like that right now.
How was tax day? It wasn't fun, Sinla. Was not fun. But we did prepare a few things for next year to make it a lot better. But this year, there's no way around it. We're getting rugged. I've been procrastinating a few things that I could have done this year that would have saved me a lot of money. But it's too late now, so I got to do them next year.
Look at Dixie 4 hour, perfect head and shoulder. She's about to get slapped like Vix.
Coinbase has earnings today. So keep an eye on Coinbase after hours.
Oh,
Doordash does as well. These are two massive earnings. Doordash is expected to be negative. So if they somehow beat earnings and they're positive, this should be a massive move. They've been following Airbnb almost to the T since they both IPO'd. And Airbnb broke out recently. But they had good earnings. So if DoorDash has good earnings like Airbnb did, you should see a nice little breakout.
Jesus, a 10 Delta is freaking $450 for this week. They're expensive. People are buying that up. Yo, what if this is like an insane earnings and just takes Bitcoin up with it and takes Bitcoin to like fucking 70K, Ethereum to
Bro, that's
5K?
what's about to happen. Bitcoin's hitting six figures this cycle for sure. I think it's gonna top at like 100. I think. Hold on. Oh, I don't even have my fucking messages on Discord. Like a year ago, dude, I sent Dime some shit. It was like a math thing I had done to figure out like what the next cycle would be like, and I think it said it's gonna top out at like 100 and fucking 54,000 or something, or 115. I don't know. It had a 5 in it.
I also added to PayPal shares today.
Oh shit! Let's go, Deja. Should I buy some more?
I'm gonna add again at 170 if we go down to 170. I hope we don't, but if we do, it's an easy buy.
Damn, I'm thinking about buying some Coinbase shares. I don't know yet. Shit might be insane. Oh, these jackasses are shorting Tesla right now. Just broke the low day.
I don't think Bitcoin looks that bad, man. This is what I consider a micro pullback. Micro pullbacks are non-directional until their doji breaks. So once this closes, we wait for the break of the high or the low, and that will give us more information. This is just a micro pullback, which they're pretty much 50-50, but because this is pushing into an all-time high, I would probably lean slightly bullish on this. But for the next 3 hours, there's no direction. Mana's setting up. I haven't looked at Mana recently. I can't bring myself to do it. It's a pretty nice bull flag though. Yeah, it's bounced right off the 618. So you're like in the buy zone right now. Dude, XMR's fucking killing it. What do you mean on Bitcoin? On March and April? No, I see what you mean. It's got a similar pattern. But it doesn't matter. I'm looking at this in short term. This pattern right here is fairly bullish. This pattern right here is non-directional. So you just wait for the doji. Once the doji breaks in the high, you target 72 to 74. Doji breaks in the low, you target 64, and then maybe 61.
We bouncing right now? Expires in Q.
There's not many moves since shit 29,000 that I've predicted wrong. So I think right now we're fairly safe.
Limit up.
We called the bottom back here at 29,000, almost to the dollar. If you guys remember my buy zone chart that I posted back then, we bought the bottom right here almost to the dollar at 39.6. My biggest mistake right here was I sold this position at 55. So we missed out on this little move here. But then we scalped it on the way up here. So we didn't miss much. Let's go XMR. Here's the trend to the T. Here's that trend. If we can break above this level, this will start a massive impulse up for XMR long term if it can hold on to this level. If we get a weekly close above this trend, that'd be pretty damn solid. Hey, guys. Yeah, Tesla's. People are making money on Tesla if they're shorting it today. Coinbase starting to pump a little bit. They do have earnings in about 15-30 minutes.
Let's go. BITF is pumping. Bit farms.
You short on Friday, took most of your profits off the table. That's not a bad idea. When it gives you a gift like that, minus 11%, probably what the biggest red day Tesla's seen in over a year. Maybe one of the worst days it's ever seen of all time.
They say he wiped out like about 175 billion.
Yeah.
Well, more now, so it's still negative.
You don't see very many negative double-digit days on Tesla. It has to be in the top 10 worst days for Tesla. There we go. XMR breaking the trend. The short time frames I don't really care about right here, though. We need to see a daily and a weekly close. We're up about 4% on this already. Nice. You'd like to buy 800 and 900 for Tesla? Yeah, same thing. I'm looking at 900 on Tesla if it goes to that gap fill. It gave you a really beautiful scalp earlier today. The contracts I was looking at went up over 100% in like a very small time. But if you would have bought the bounce of the pivot, which was basically the bounce right here, you got a nice little scalp out of that. Did you hop in XMR, Sticky?
I had my finger on the market buy button while I was shopping.
Would have paid for your suits.
I don't know how I feel about cake right now.
I know cake's pissing me off. I got in a little early. I think the daily pivot is holding us down.
Yeah, I'm in at 20, but this thing's gonna fucking rip.
Yeah, I'm in at like 20 and 30 cents or something like that.
I'm not even like asking for much. So, like, give me like a 10 to 15% day, and I'm fucking selling it.
No, I agree. Go past the pivot like 5-10%. I'm done. Is Lulu moving? Lulu's getting a little
Thing
pump
doesn't
here.
down.
No, it doesn't. We're gonna make it go up when we're in Colorado. Their flagship store.
Hey, I'm getting out of here. I'll see you guys. It's been a fun first day back in Oasis.
Yeah,
I'll
we're
be back
going
in
this
Twitch tomorrow.
We'll see you.
Hey, buddy.
Little failure on XMR, failing that trend line. Might pull back a little bit, maybe back down to 284, 285. Don't want it to fail this trend line on the higher time frames. The short time frames are okay, but not the higher time frames. There's a 3-hour pivot here that's holding us down too. I've seen a lot of people talking about that DYDX one, Seraphic. I haven't traded that. I'm trying to avoid charts like this, like the ones that are kind of downtrending, but they haven't accumulated long enough. I'm looking for like the long accumulation ones. This one's pretty good. A lot of tops though, a lot of sell pressure above 477. This pullback right here was beautiful. This is one of JMA's favorite setups. Like when you have a lot of highs right here, and then you pull back into those highs. That was a really clean buy right there. That one looks like it's fairly new. Breaking out a little bit. Thoughts on GLD? If you mean gold, it's pretty shitty, but where is it? What's that GC? Here we go. If you watched my summary of markets, the weekly and the daily are starting to break out of their little downtrends here. But it's accumulating, but I don't think it's ready just yet. But I think once you break this weekly downtrend here, which you're trying to do, it could start going towards the high. Oh, 1 second, guys. I got a phone call. Oh, you guys can't hear me. Awesome. Talk to myself. I was saying sorry about that. Having some furniture delivered tomorrow, so had to make sure it was all good. Let's see how he closed. SPY, not too bad, honestly. A little bit of a bounce into the close. Qs didn't even fill a gap yet, so if we open up weak tomorrow on Qs, look for that gap around 393. Get below that, probably get down to like 388-ish. SPY filled the gap locally. Little support at like 464 and then a lot around like 461. Oh yeah, Coinbase trading. Let's take a look. We are going this way. Here we go. Don't trust the first move though. First move is usually bullshit. Let's see if it can recover. Seems like the sell-off is actually real. And it goes back to their other earnings where they've beat every single earnings since IPO. And they're still going down. Very nice. It says on TradingView they beat revenue by 25%. Doesn't say anything about EPS. We also had Doordash. How's Dash doing? Dash is going down, but it doesn't really look like they've reported yet. No, they haven't. Coin is nuking. Down 10%. They took a play from PLTR exactly, man. PLTR's beat every single earnings, and it's just going sideways. We were just talking about PLTR in the Discord. It's like the biggest accumulation like since IPO. I think long term it's still a really good play, but short term thing just chops out too much.
Yes, 15-minute bicycle. With a bull did.
Roblox had bad earnings today, pumped 30%. Coinbase has good earnings, goes down 15. Clown world, man, clown world. I want to see Doordash earnings before I close the stream, but usually if they're not right away, they take forever to come out. So if it doesn't come out in the next 2 minutes, we're just going to close it down. Should have hedged. Yeah, man, earnings suck, Jonathan. That's just how they are. Seems like Doordash is doing all right.
Jesus Christ, yo! I think this company's officially done. Look at Posh.
Oh, guards, they're saying Coinbase missed EPS and revenue, so TradingView is wrong. That wouldn't be a first. It wouldn't be a first.
Posh is down 20%. They got earnings today too.
That probably means they beat earnings.
God damn. 52-week high on Posh is 104. They're at $19, bro.
That's pretty bad.
Jesus Christ.
All right, guys, I'm going to call it. Appreciate you guys being here. Seems like Coinbase missed earnings. They're going to be opening up with a massive gap. But honestly, they're pulling back to a lot of support. So anything down to like 311, 300 is pretty big support on Coinbase. So if we see a nasty sell-off tomorrow on Coinbase, watch for some support around that 300 to 311 level. You could see some buyers step in around there. But all right, if you guys are in Discord, make sure to check the analysis channel later today. We're going to be posting some new levels and whatnot. You know the drill. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe on YouTube and make sure to hit that like button as well. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. If you guys are in the Discord, I'll catch you guys at 9:30 in the morning. Peace.